Well, hello there and welcome. This is Aurora with Supercharged Math and Science, and I am so excited. In 1 hour, actually in 49 minutes, I'm going to be going live with a brand new class I've never actually taught before. So I have a new math program that is new starting this year, and it's actually been so much fun to create, and a lot of students have been finding so much value in it. And I wanted to, well, since we're kind of near the end of the year, I wanted to circle back and cover some of the material that we covered in the very beginning in case there's some new families that want to join us. So I actually created a brand new workbook. It hasn't been released yet, but I will email it to you. There is a link in the description of this video right now. You can click on that link, and then when you register for this class, this class is not on Zoom. It's just in a very private, secret place. It's just for new families that have never taken a class with Supercharged Math with myself before. And so you can find the workbook. It's going to look like this. It's 18 pages long. And I'm going to get you started in class on using this workbook. So what is it going to cover? So we are going to introduce fractions and also decimals. And my guess is we're going to be together for about 70 minutes, but probably a little more. If that's too long for your student, no problem. I've actually got you covered. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend about 35 minutes on fractions. I'm going to introduce what fractions are, show some basic operations, and then we're going to go straight into a practical example, like a real world practical example. And it's much more than just a word problem on a page. It's actually something you can use in the real world. And then I'm going to give a math challenge. It's going to be something where kids are going to get up, walk around, and actually try to, it's a physical challenge they're actually going to do using their brains and math. And then I'll give them some time, and that'll be a nice little break. And then we'll come back and I will introduce what decimals are, show some basic operations, and again, we will do another practical example. And then I will have a second challenge for your students. Now, if after the first section of fractions, you're like, "Whoa, that's plenty," not a problem. When you register for the class, I will make sure that you have a link that will also give you the replay of the decimal class. And also, we're going to spend about 10 minutes in percent because that will link up fractions with decimals and really show you how they're used well together. Okay, so all of these things are going to be coming to you. So when you sign up, what you'll be getting is an email from me with the workbook inside. So we're going to go through the workbook during class. And the workbook has lots of pages inside. And then one of the things you'll notice is near the back couple of pages, actually it's the back 2 pages, there are resources and recommendations. So if you are a person who likes to go to the library with people that you want to look up, you want to learn more about who really contributed to the field of mathematics, honestly, this list could be like 10,000 names long. It's such a big field that have had so many people contributing to it. I've actually put my favorites. And so these are my personal favorites. Some of them you've heard of, some of them maybe you haven't. And so these are ones that I really, really love the contributions that they made to the field of mathematics. And then also on the very last page is a list of books that I think are really good resources for elementary level students. So this is included in the last 2 pages of the workbook. So you can get that as well. All right, so we are actually going to start in about exactly 45 minutes. If you haven't registered, please do that now. If you sign up and you don't see that email, let me know right away, aurora@superchargedscience.com. Sometimes they get stuck in spam filters and they get lost. So if you don't get that email within about 10-15 minutes with the workbook in it, let me know so me and my team can take really good care of you. All right, during class, you're not going to need anything special other than this workbook. If you happen to have a piece of string or yarn or I don't know that I would use dental floss, but if you have something that you can use, you're going to need one of these per student. And if you only have one student, you're going to need 2. And so I'll show you, this is part of the challenge that the students are going to be working with. So again, yarn, string, anything of that nature, rope will work just fine. This is about 3 feet long, and you need at least 2 of them. And we're gonna be playing with this a few times. Oh, and the other thing is, if your student has a sweater, like if they're wearing a sweater, not buttons, but like, pull over the head, either a shirt or a sweater, just make sure they've got one handy. So that's going to be part of one of the things we do in our lab. Okay, and oh, great. Hi, I've got some people asking a couple of questions. So yes, this is an introduction to the math program. So I have a brand new program for grades 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, where we cover fractions, decimals, percent, algebra, and geometry. And this is a very basic, this is intended for people that are not part of that program. And you want to you want a free class, a sneak peek. I've had a lot of people request that. So that's what this is. So this is this is me teaching you, and we're actually going to do 2 classes in one. We're going to do one on fractions and then one on decimals, and the classes are about 35 minutes long, and then we will have a challenge to kind of give a break between the 2. And so again, if you can only participate in one, that's fine, and I will make sure you have access to the replays after it. Somebody's asking about an answer key. Okay, so the answer key is actually going to be given after the class is over. So I haven't published that yet because we haven't done the class. Okay, other questions. Can I have multiple kids participate? Yes, absolutely. You can have as many kids as you would like to participate in the program. If you're interested and excited about math, then this is the place for you. If your kids have this thirst for more, and you as a parent, you're like, I have no idea how to support this, then this is a great place for you. If your kids are struggling with math, if they don't have any self-confidence, if they don't, they know the answer, and they know how to do this, but they just don't seem to have it, this is the right class for you. So give it a try. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and we're just going to have some fun with math. My goal, which I outlined on the very first page, is my goal for you is to have a happy, positive experience with math, to help you see that you know more than you think you do, and just to help you with the next step wherever that is for you on your roadmap. And because kids are literally all over the place when it comes to what they know and understand. So we're gonna meet you where you're at, and we're gonna extend that just a little bit further. And again, I'm gonna be providing the replays. Yes, that actually happens after the class. Somebody was asking, are the replays available now? You have to wait till the class actually happens. Yes. Okay, great. Other questions? If we are part of the program, can we join? Yes, absolutely. Especially if you're new, excuse me, especially if you're a new member and you would like to, because right now we're kind of finishing up the year. We're finishing up algebra, which is a really thick course anyway, and we're about to start geometry. So we're pretty far into the year. So if you've just joined, that's great. We love it. Thank you for joining. And so you might be feeling like, oh, where do I start? The program is self-paced. You go at your own pace on your own schedule. And starting in fall, we are going to be starting fractions, and we're also going to be starting the upper track, so algebra as well. And so we're going to take our time, go a lot slower. The program doesn't exist yet, so that's why we're publishing so much. Can anyone join your geometry course in a couple of weeks? Yes, that is open and available to anyone. Anyone who's interested in geometry lessons, doesn't matter what grade you are welcome to join us. During these classes that I teach in Supercharged Math, just to kind of give you a sneak peek, I do 30 minutes with beginners, 30 minutes with intermediates, and about an hour with my advanced students. So what does that mean? Beginner means a concept is new. Maybe you don't know how to solve for x in an equation, because we're in algebra, that's what we're doing. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's like training wheels. It's like the first time you get on a bike, we put the training wheels on, and we are there with you, guiding you, making sure you don't go splat. Okay, so intermediate is we're going to start to take those training wheels off, but we're still there. We're going to hit that problem with from different perspectives, start to introduce word problems a little bit, and we're going to look at different techniques, different ways of solving equations, for example, in algebra, or whatever the skill is for the week. And then advanced students is those training wheels are off. You know how to ride up and down the street. Now we're going to take you into the real world, do some practical applications. So you're going to be, for example, this past week, we were sitting on a beach watching people dive off of a cliff into the ocean, and we could just sit there in time from when they jump to when they hit the water, and then we could use physics and algebra to figure out, well, what their speed was when they hit the water, and also how long they were free falling for is something we measured, and we can use that to figure out how tall the cliff was. And so that was one practical example. Another one was we were chemists inside of an aquarium store, for example. So we were working in an aquarium, and we had 3 fish tanks, and they were all different salinity because the fish like different environments, and one of them was low. And so this one was low by like 15 liters, and we wanted to know, okay, just using this much, from how much from each of the other tanks. So one was at 25% salt, the other one was only like 13% salt. How do we get the 18% salt solution up, like how many cups of each one? You know, doctors do this all the time in the hospital. Nurses, when they prepare the isopropyl solutions for disinfectant, they'll have a gallon of 100% of this stuff. But really, you don't use 100% rubbing alcohol. You dilute it, right? Dilute it? Dilute it? No, dilute. You dilute it. And so you add water to it. And so we want to know how much water do you need to add for what percent solution. And when the numbers get all mixed up, it can get really confusing. But we can untangle all of that using algebra. So anyway, so there's lots of practical examples, and that's what the advanced, sorry, I got on a tangent there. That's what the advanced section is all about. And so we do all three every single week. So we introduce the topic, and then we do some practice with it, that's intermediate, and then we do practical examples. And we do that same template, the same framework every single week. So even if you're a beginner, you just stay at the beginner level for a little while, and then you circle back and you start to do the intermediate. And then once you finish the intermediate, you can circle back, and now you can do the advanced labs in each session that we publish. So there's we're able to accommodate no matter where you are, no matter what your grade level, no matter how old you are, no matter how much math you've had, there is always something more to learn, and that's how the classes are structured. So you do based on where you are, and we'll be able to extend it from there. And I'm going to do a sample for you in 20 minutes. Or no, 40 minutes, sorry. It says 9:20. So in 40 minutes. This class is free. Share it with as many people as you'd like. This is my gift to the community. If you like it and you want more, join us. If not, that's totally fine. I just want to make sure that you have access to the best math program there is. And I'm really excited to share my passion about math and science with you and show you how you can use math as a tool for science, because that's really what it's for. Math is the language of science, and how we do all the things that we like to do in science. All right, if you have questions, you're going to let me know, aurora@superchargedscience.com, and I will see you in our math class I'll probably be on in about a half an hour and answering questions, and I will see you soon. Use the link in the description to register for the class, print out your workbook, and get your pencil and paper out, and let's have some fun with some math. I'll see you in a few minutes.